All right, you guys, welcome back to the podcast. Got a solo episode today. I have a couple good stories from times I've been out to Las Vegas. I've been to Las Vegas quite a few times. I've kind of lost track, to be honest with you. But this particular story is about the sunburn from hell. Most people get sunburns. I've been sunburned a bunch of times in my life. But this sunburn nearly took my life, I felt like. And it almost took me to the hospital. It was that serious. So let me advise you with this cautionary tale. So I was going to Las Vegas for a martial arts business convention. It's called the Martial Arts Super Show. They have it every year. I don't know if they're having it this year. I don't think they are because of the coronavirus. And this happened, I feel like it was maybe at least 10 years ago, if not more. And so I'd been going to Vegas for a very long time, and if you don't know, Vegas is incredibly hot. But they tell you, oh well, it's a dry heat, which is for the most part true. But still, 90-degree weather out in the middle of the desert still sucks. At least it's not as muggy as say here in Ohio. So my history with tanning is not very well known, right? If any of you guys have known me for any period of time, you'll probably notice you've never seen me tan. And, well, that's for a very specific reason. I just don't tan. I permanently stay very white. I've tried tanning. I've tried the whole laying outside. I've tried tanning beds. And all I do is burn. Even in an actual tanning bed, I'll come out of the tanning bed red and sunburned. So that's not a good plan. So I'm in Las Vegas. After the first night of the Super Show, they always start off with a really cool guest speaker. And they had a guy named Marcus Luttrell. If you don't know him, he wrote the book Lone Survivor. There was a movie based off of him. Basically, he was a Navy SEAL in Afghanistan, and all the members of his SEAL team unfortunately died during a mission. He ended up getting blown off of the side of a mountain. He got shot a bunch of times, hit with rockets, and it ended up having to crawl his way through the desert until he ends up getting picked up by these Afghani villagers who help protect him and defend him, and he eventually gets rescued by U.S. forces. So we heard a really awesome keynote speech. The next day there's getting ready to be some really cool seminars. I do my first day of seminars, and I start to come up with the plan to get tan. So my idea is I'm in Vegas for a week. I think I've already spent 2 days here now, maybe 3. And, well, I want to get tan fast. So I'm just going to go to the pool and just hang out in the sun. I'm going to tan for, about maybe 3 hours. That's kind of like my plan. So I go to the pool, and it's probably around noon when the sun is, of course, at its highest and most hot. And I find a chair. I'm by my stepmom, and I tell her my plan is, I'm just going to get tan. So I pop off my shirt. I brought a book with me, and she goes, well, do you want some sunscreen? I'm like, no. Why would I want sunscreen? Sunscreen is going to reflect the UV rays from the sun. I want to absorb them so I can become tan. And of course, she tells me, Ben, that's not a good idea. I don't advise that. You should put some sunscreen on. I'm like, no. I know what I'm doing. I got this. So I start reading my book and getting into it. And unfortunately, when I'm reading books, I have a tendency to fall asleep. Like, I love to read, but for whatever stupid reason, they make me fall asleep. It's the worst if I'm in bed, I'm reading the book, and all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I start to doze off and a hardcover book just smashes me in the bridge of the nose. Well, I fell asleep for I think 5 hours. It was not good. I wake up and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, okay, I'm a little pink. I got like a healthy pink glow going on. So I'm like, I've had enough sun for one day. I'll just go up to the room. So I start making my way back up to the room, and I was staying in the Venetian, I believe, which is a beautiful hotel. So I get to the room, and almost like immediately entering the room, I look down at myself, in this healthy pink glow that I had developed is now a darker reddish glow of fury and pain. So I'm like, oh shit, this is starting to hurt. This is not good. So I start to think back of things that I've heard to do during a sunburn. And I'm starting to run through some of my options. So I know that, like, there's like the normal stuff like aloe vera. There's some like different like spray stuff, some moisturizers that you can put on your body, all that kind of stuff. Well, I didn't buy any of that stuff, and now the last thing I want to do is like go out into the hot sun and find those products to buy, because I obviously didn't buy them beforehand because my plan was to get tan, not sunburn. Well, I think back to a story that was told to me years before that of someone who dealt with sunburns. And they told me that they should, or that what they would do when they got sunburn is they would take a scalding hot shower. And so I go, well, maybe that's what I should do. Just take like a really hot shower. Maybe like in my head I'm like kind of like trying to convince myself of how it would work. Like maybe it's going to get so hot it's going to like burn off the sunburn from me. Some sort of, goofiness. Well, I'm not trusting myself completely yet, so I figured I'll ask, the internet and take, medical advice from complete strangers who are unverified. And I look, and I actually see a couple people saying, take hot showers. It does something like with the pores to like release the heat or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I can, I can toughen this out. I'm pretty tough. So I get myself mentally prepared. I get to the shower, and I turn it all the way. All the way. And these Las Vegas casino showers, like, I feel like these things are, also used for like, burning off hooker juice. So they got to be, really, really hot. And man, this sucker was like immediately steaming up the room. It was hot. So I'm like, well, here it goes. I collect myself. I jump in there. Fucking terrible. It was awful. I mean, just pain. It's like the entire front of my body, my face, except for like where my sunglasses were on. I had that like stereotypical, white sunglasses break where the eyes, where the glasses sat on my face. And I'm just trying to force myself to stay in there. I'm like turning around and stuff like that. I ended up kind of, pansying out a little bit and turning the heat down a little bit, but it was still really, really hot. But I'm starting to get used to it. It's not boiling me or anything, but it is just even like the steam hitting my body is just hurting me. So I finally kind of like get used to it enough where I can actually like, stand it being on the front of my body, which is all burnt. And I figure, well, I'm in the shower, so I might as well clean up. So I take my soap, shampoo, conditioner, all that kind of stuff. I'm cleaning myself, getting nice and, clean, because I'm probably going to go out to dinner at some point. I do all that, and I'm finally done. I turn off the water, and, well, I'm soaking wet, so now I have to dry myself off. And it didn't really dawn on me beforehand, but I took that towel and just started, drying me. And God, that was like, even like thinking about it, like it reminds me of it. I can like remember that pain. It was like rubbing sandpaper on me. Just this thick ass towel, just rubbing it right across my body. And oh God, it was just miserable. I didn't want to be, sitting there soaking wet, because like even the water on me hurt. So I finally get myself dried up, and the heat didn't do anything. And I remember like the story of this person telling me, they said it was like nearly instantaneous. They would get super sunburnt, hop into a scalding hot shower, come out, feel better immediately. And I'm just like, I'm in more pain now than when I started. So I didn't do anything. So I pull up my phone and I go, I can't remember what I typed in, but I'm looking up stuff for like hot showers and stuff like that. And of course I'm seeing people say take hot showers. Now I'm seeing people say don't take hot showers. That's the worst thing you can do. Take ice cold showers or ice cold baths. I am seeing a common thing though of where they're saying whatever you do, don't use soap and wash yourself. Because I guess like those chemicals get mixed into your body and stuff like that. And I probably should have read that part beforehand. So the hot shower didn't do anything except make life suck even more. So I figure, okay, let me try the opposite. I go and I put on like the loosest fitting clothes I had at the time. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with the whole shower and like water like pounding me from the shower head. I'm going to do a bath. So I go and get some ice from the ice machine and I start the tub. And I pour some ice in there. I get it, man. It is cold. I mean, it is at the coldest setting it can be with a bunch of ice in there. So I, go one foot in, the other foot in. I'm able to I'm able to lay down in this tub. I'm laying down on my stomach. So like on this like awful bed of ice with the water running, the ice being pressed up against me just hurts. I'm having to keep lifting my head up so I don't drown from the bath water. I only do that for probably not even 10 minutes because I just couldn't stand it. Just being in water was just awful and it just sucked too. So I get out of the tub, drain it, the ice all melts off. Well, I'm not going to use the towel this time. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. So I'm just sitting there, miserable. I'm blowing on myself. I'm going, it's like trying to blow cold air onto my body. And at some point, my family was going to go out to dinner, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, I'm sunburnt. And of course, every single one of them, because I told them my plan. I shared my brilliant master plan with them, and of course, they're all holding back laughter and I told you so's and all that fun stuff that family's there for you. So I end up skipping dinner, and so now it's like, okay, I got to get legitimate products. So I got my loose clothes on, and I'm like, all right, I got to get to a store and get some aloe vera and some moisturizer and that kind of stuff. So first thing I do is I go to the casino gift shops. Huge mistake, because if you've never been inside a casino gift shop, it's like paying movie theater prices for just basic stuff, right? Like a tiny bag of M&Ms that's going to set you back about $8. And of course, they're in the middle of the desert with the sun, with a bunch of idiots who don't put sunscreen on. So yeah, they're going to jack up those prices for the aloe vera and stuff like that. So I make my way to a CVS pharmacy that's not going to jack up the prices. And luckily there was one that it's not too far away. It's just a little bit of a walk down the strip. So I get there, I pull up my phone, I'm looking for common products to use for a sunburn. And I knew about aloe vera off the top of my head, so that was at the top of my list. So I buy 3 things. I buy some aloe vera. I bought some kind of soothing moisturizer. I couldn't tell you the brand name. I can't remember it off the top of my head. And I bought this product called Solar Cane. It's some kind of spray thing that you spray on yourself. It's supposed to... I think it actually has some aloe in it, and it's supposed to numb the pain or something like that. Whatever. So I buy all 3 of those things because I figured, what the heck, if one doesn't work, who knows? And I make my slow walk back up to the hotel room. So I'm in the hotel room and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with the aloe vera. So I pop it up and I'm just putting on it. And you gotta remember, right? I am very red. I am lobster red at this point. So I'm hesitant to even apply this stuff to me because just anything touching my body now is just setting off my pain receptors. So, like, man, rubbing that aloe vera in was just hell. And again, it's my face, my neck, my stomach, my legs, the entire front of my body, except for my swim trunks were and my sunglasses. But I do it. I put that aloe vera on, and I go to just like sit down. There was just like really like no comfortable position. I try to like just sit down in this chair, like in like the living room of this. I think we were in a hotel suite actually. I give it like maybe, I don't know. It felt like 10 minutes. It was probably longer than that. But when you're in that kind of pain, you want products that will fix it immediately. And if any of you guys have ever been sunburned, you know that like things like aloe vera and stuff like that, they don't work immediately. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, like there's no getting out of the suck from a sunburn, and no amount of aloe vera. I mean, you could take live aloe plants and bathe yourself in that stuff, and it's not going to do anything. So the aloe vera, after about like 10 or 15 minutes, I'm like, all right, to hell with this. Time for that moisturizer stuff. So I take that moisturizer stuff, and I put it on. Again, it's hurting, not feeling good to rub myself down with this kind of stuff. It's just awfulness. I'm putting it on, putting it on, putting it on. And I go back to sit down in that chair, try to relax myself, and nothing's happening. So I'm like, okay, well, I got the solar cane, and at least this is a spray, so like I don't need to like rub crap on me. So I shake it up, and I'm spraying it all over myself. It just smells terrible. Spraying on me, it's like it was almost like melted butter on me. And like I'm looking in the mirror, it looks like I'm just like greased up, and it was very disgusting. And the solar cane is doing nothing for me. So I probably spend what felt again my this happened a long time ago, so like my timeline may not be the most accurate, but I spent pretty much the rest of the night putting on this mixture of stuff. I would always go aloe vera, wait maybe 10 or so minutes, the moisturizer, wait like 10 or so minutes, solar cane. I was doing that for hours. I end up running out of most of the product for that. And at one point, I was staying in the same room with my dad. So my dad's back, and he wants to have like a quick little meeting. So we were there with some other martial arts school owners of ours. So they're up there in the meeting now. These guys had not seen me pretty much the entire day. I think they saw me for like some like the morning sessions, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the pool and tan instead of doing like the afternoon sessions or whatever. I'll see you guys, back around dinner time. I got sunburnt and didn't go to dinner. So they're up there having this meeting. I'm just in the bathroom applying aloe vera, nothing. The moisturizing cream, nothing. The solar cane, nothing. And I finally get like, all of it on me. I'm out of the product, and I just like slowly walk out of there, and I have to go across the room that they're all having this meeting in, and I'm just like a buttered lobster. Like this shit is just like dripping off me because I can't rub it in anymore. Like there's still like gross patches of like bluish green gel from the aloe, like the white streaks of the moisturizer because I can't rub it in because it hurts, and all that like nasty solar cane sprayed on me. And I'm just gonna go to this couch and just lay down because like sleeping was just out of the question. Because like I typically sleep either on my side or my stomach, and so I figured that's just gonna be awful. So I'm sitting in this couch. I turn the TV on, and I'm just like sitting in there, just trying to not think about the pain that I'm in. Well, I end up getting to fall asleep for a little bit. And it's probably 2 a.m. at this point. Everyone's gone. My dad's asleep. And I just wake up with just pain. Like the physical pain woke me up. I look, and I'm even redder. Like I don't know how I'm getting redder and redder throughout the day. So now, I'm legit worried. Aloe vera didn't work. The moisturizing garbage didn't work. The solar cane didn't do anything. And now, like, I'm being woken up from pain. Like, I'm gritting my teeth. You know, it just hurts so much. So I start to get desperate. I go on my phone and I'm looking for anything. All right, listen, you could have told me that, you know, if you find a homeless man to piss on you, that acidic awfulness would wash away the sunburn. I would have been out there screaming for homeless men to pee on me. All right, I was desperate and willing to do anything. So I'm looking through this stuff, and I keep seeing two things that kind of keep popping up: black tea and white vinegar. Actually, no, sorry, not white vinegar, but it's vinegar. I didn't pay attention to what kind of vinegar. I just assumed it was white vinegar because that's the most common kind of vinegar you think I thought of. So yeah, black tea and vinegar. And I'm like, all right, done. So I'm able to get myself up from the couch. It took me a little bit. I'd like get myself mentally prepared and like push myself up using the arms of the couch as slow as possible. I'm like standing like straight up, my arms completely outstretched. Like I'm not so much walking as I am like doing like a weird like waddle / straight leg shuffle hybrid maneuver. It's hard to describe. And I'm like trying not to bend down because I don't want any of my body to touch any of my body. But I'm able to get down and pick up my shirt with like just my finger and my thumb, and I'm able to somehow get it on me. And so I do this weird like sideways walk thing with my arms completely out to the side because I can't even have my arms resting on my body. If my arms rest on my body, it just causes pain. And so I do this weird waddle shuffle thing to that CVS. And I'm looking for black tea and vinegar. And I don't want to be here any longer than I need to be. So I see a big thing of black tea packets. So boom, I buy all those. I see a big jug of white vinegar. I buy that. Go to the cashier, throw the dude some money, make that awful trek back. And again, like if you've ever been to Las Vegas, all right, at 2 a.m. the strip is very much alive, all right, like it's not asleep, all right, and you see some weird shit, some of the weirdest shit you'll probably ever see, all right. You're gonna see people completely just blasted drunk. People who don't even know what planet they're on. You're gonna see people who are just high as a kite. You're gonna see weird homeless people doing goofy stuff for money. You're gonna see all of the the dudes handing out like the stripper trading cards to get you to hire their girls or whatever. And I was probably the weirdest dude out on the strip. I'm doing this weird like crab walky motion trying to avoid crowds of people like the plague, because if people bumped up against me, which a couple of them did, because it's crowded and packed even at 2 a.m, it just set my body off, and it was just awful. So I'm out here, I'm walking like a crazy person. I'm looking people weird in the eye so they don't come near me, and I finally make my way to the hotel room. I had a really awkward ride back up with some drunk dude in the elevator. He was asking me questions like if I was all right and stuff like that. I'm just like, dude, shut up, don't talk to me. So I make my way back, and again, I'm in desperation mode. So my level of research into this stuff was very, very low. I didn't research this stuff at all. So I'm wondering, like, all right, well, what do I do with the tea? Like, it's not going to be hot tea. There's no way. Like, I'm not going to put any more hot water or hot anything on my body. So I figure, okay, I'll do a couple plans. I have a lot of tea packets. So the first thing is I'll make a black tea bath. So I don't want to do hot water, but I don't want to do like the ice cold water. So I try to make the most lukewarm bath ever. And I probably put maybe like 10 or 15 tea packets in this bathtub. And then I'm thinking like, oh well, crap, like I don't want to lay on my stomach in the bathtub. So like I'll be on my back, like, being submerged, like, splashing water up on me and all that kind of stuff. I figured, well, okay, If that doesn't work, I'll make a big bucket of tea. So I took the ice bucket, filled that with water, put about like 7 or 8 tea packets in there, and let that kind of, I guess, tea up, or however you would say it, mix in with the tea. So I get in the tub, and again, it's just miserable. It's awful. I'm on my back. Water's over me. I'm trying to move it around a little bit so it mixes with that tea really, really well. I figure at some point, I'm just gonna have to suck it up and go to my stomach, and I finally do. I'm on my stomach, laying down in this just nasty, gross tea bath water. It's all covered in it. And it's just awful. And I get out, and again, I am not using a towel, so I'm just, trying to drip dry myself of this nasty tea water. And again, I'm hoping this is going to work instantaneously. So a couple minutes go by, and it's not working. So I'm like, okay, I take that bucket of tea water, and I just dump it on me. And that didn't do anything either, except put more, water on my stomach. That did not make it feel good, hurt even more. So now I'm thinking, fuck, maybe it's time for the vinegar. So I'm like, okay, I'll do the same thing. So I got this gigantic jug of vinegar, and I pour half of it into the tub. I make a new bath. I drained all the tea, made a new bath, put all the vinegar in it, mixed it around in there. I got about half a jug left. And so I'm in the bathtub, putting vinegar on me, all over me. It's awful. It's terrible. I flip myself around, so I'm on my stomach. Again, it's hurting, doesn't feel good. It's all over, right? My arms and my face, all that kind of stuff. This nasty vinegar bath water. I get out. I'm just, sitting there, my arms out, just trying to dry myself. And it takes a while. Like drying outside is pretty fast. Drying inside at whatever time it is now, 3 or 4 in the morning, that don't go fast. So I finally dry. I'm finally dry, and I'm expecting there to be no pain. I'm still in just tons of pain. So I have that half a jug of vinegar, and I just pour it all over me, just down the front of my body, down my arms, down my legs. I'm smart enough to stand in the tub so I don't get it all over the bathroom floor. And it does nothing. So now I'm in pain, I'm miserable, I'm tired, and I smell like goddamn white vinegar. All right, and that is just an awful combination. And the vinegar finally dries off me, and I'm just still glowing red and just in pain. So now I'm like, you know what? At least the aloe vera and stuff gave me a momentary bit of I don't want to say pain freeness, but I felt like every time I put the moisturizer and aloe vera stuff on me, it lessened the pain a little bit. So it's now probably 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'm like, I gotta get more of that stuff. I already used up all of it earlier today. Time to get more. So I slowly get my shirt up, trying not to move my body as I bend down to pick it up and put it on me. And now I'm doing an even slower, weird shuffle, waddle, movement, hybrid mix of awfulness, and I smell like goddamn vinegar, and I smell so fucking strong. And you talk about getting awkward looks, all right? Walk around a city at night at 3 or 4 in the morning, or inside of a hotel, smelling like goddamn vinegar. Yeah, you get some weird looks. So I'm making my way down the strip, and at this point, I am definitely the weirdest thing on the strip. There's no one out there looking weirder than I am walking around. People are probably thinking I'm, on all sorts of drugs and, super homeless because I smell awful. It's not a good look for me. So I go back to that CVS. Thank God it's open 24/7. I buy my aloe vera, my moisturizer, solar cane, throw the dude some more cash, make the terrible walk of shame. This would probably normally, I feel like normally it would maybe be a 15 to 20 minute walk at a normal pace. I was doing no such thing. All right, I am just barely moving because again, just stepping now hurts. Every step just hurts because it makes my body move. So I'm just doing these like little tiny steps without trying to like bend my knees or anything. So it probably took me at least 40 minutes, maybe longer, to get back to the room and stuff. I get back, I put on the aloe vera, I put on the moisturizer, spray myself full of the solar cane, so now I'm this nasty, greasy mess. And I'm looking around and I see I still have like 7 or 8 tea bags. So I fill up that water bucket, or that ice bucket earlier. I filled up with water. I put all those tea bags in there, mix it around, get it all tea. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to like just sit on the couch and just lay these tea bags on me. So I'm there with this big jug of tea bags. I just start putting them on me. I'm kind of like I'm not like sitting straight up. I'm like leaned back so that way the tea bags don't roll off me. There's one on each leg. I got them like all over my body and my stomach. I got like one on my arms. So I'm just sitting there covered with like tea just running off of me. Miserable. I'm trying to sleep. I get no sleep. With this probably happened around 5 o'clock in the morning, and I think like 9 o'clock is when the next day of seminars start. It's either 8 or 9. I feel like 9 o'clock is the right answer. And so about 8:30 rolls around. My dad's getting ready to go to the seminars. He asks me how I'm doing. I'm telling him I'm miserable. I haven't slept. I told him all the crap that I did yesterday. And I told him, I can't go to these seminars. Unfortunately, they paid a lot of money, but I just could not do it. I can't get up. I can't move. I'm just miserable. I'm tired. I haven't slept. It's just god awfulness at this point. So he goes and does his seminars, and I just got these nasty dried tea bags on me. Well, it wasn't long after that. It was maybe, I don't know, probably 2 hours after that, maybe 10 or 11, maybe 2 or 3 hours, give or take. I go to get up again, just as slow as possible. Still just glowing bright red. I'm out of tea bags. I'm out of vinegar. I got my stock of aloe vera, moisturizer, and solar cane. I put another set of that garbage all over me, and I finally put it on me. And then I go back to sit down in that couch and just try to sleep. No sleep happens. But about maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes after putting that last mixture on, something happened. My body started to blister and swell up. It was the weirdest feeling. But I don't know what it was, but there was just a moment where my body just started tightening up, and I felt it. I felt my body literally tightening up, and just I thought I was in pain before all of this. No. This was now real pain. I could not get up out of the chair. My body would not move. And so now I'm tired. I'm in probably twice as much pain than what I was. And I was in a lot of pain before this. And I'm looking at my body and I'm seeing blisters form all over my stomach. My stomach's swelling up. My arms are swelling up. I see all these blisters just form all over my body and stuff. And I start to panic. So I'm just screaming, trying to get out of the couch. I'm like legit screaming, which I'm sure must have been awfully weird for the hotel guests next door to me or across the hall. Luckily, no one called anybody. I guess that they must be used to people screaming in Vegas hotel rooms. I'm able to get myself up, and I'm starting to hyperventilate. I just can't breathe. My body is just not responding the way I want it to respond. I end up going to the window, I end up like throwing off the curtains, and I am just punching the glass. Like these hotels have very, very thick glass, but like I was staring out this glass and being like, you know what, this is it, life is over. I was probably, I was somewhere between 17 and 20. I know I wasn't 21 during this because I wasn't able to drink. But yeah, somewhere between 17 and 20. I was like, you know what, I've lived a full life. Fuck it, I'm done. I'm just like punching the glass, screaming. I'm punching the wall, just screaming because I'm in so much pain. I finally am able to collect myself to call my dad. I call him in a panic, tell him that he's in the middle of some kind of seminar, a seminar where they tell you at the beginning to turn off your phones, put them on silent. You got to be paying attention to this. This is the most important information you'll ever hear. So luckily, I get a hold of him, and I'm in a panic, and he senses that panic in my voice, and he tells me that he's going to be there right away. And so that was like the longest wait, because like he's in this convention center area of the hotel, back to the in this convention center area in the hotel, and it takes him a while to get back to the hotel room. And I mean, there's nothing he can do. he doesn't have any kind of miracle sunburn cures. And I figured at this point, I'm trying to like think, what the hell is happening? And like, I think like the combination of all of this, chemical awfulness I've been putting on my body, the mixture of, the soap and shampoo from showering, mixed with all that aloe vera moisturizer and solar cane, mixed with all that vinegar, mixed with all that black tea awfulness, and like my body was finally like, Ben, you've had enough, it's time to shut this down. So that's what I figured must have happened. Like my body finally had reached its limit, and this is its way of telling me, no more. So my dad comes to the room, and I am just a mess. Like I've never been in so much pain at this point in my life, and my dad doesn't know what to do. He's like pouring like cold water, onto me, telling me it's gonna be okay, and stuff like that. And he puts out like a group text to the people that we're with, asking any of these guys if they have any ideas for what to do. And well, we had two people there who were part of our group who I believe they were EMTs, or they're some kind of medics. I know at one point they definitely were in the fire department. I can't remember if they were there as firefighters or EMTs or whatever. And so they were like, he probably has to go to the hospital. So we started making plans to take me to the hospital, which, if you've ever been on vacation, that's the last place you want to be, especially because like we still had 4 more days of vacation here. I'm going to be spending it in the hospital trying not to die from a goddamn sunburn. Well, there was this one guy who he's like kind of like the very stereotypical like country guy. All right, this is one of those guys who like they're all about like living off the land and finding these like old timey homey recipes. So he's like, you got to give him apple cider vinegar. And I told my dad, I go, no, I'm not putting any more vinegar on me. I smell like garbage. I already tried vinegar, all that kind of stuff. And we end up talking to the guy, and he goes, no, Ben, did you use apple cider vinegar? I go, no, I used white vinegar. He goes, that's your problem. It's got to be apple cider vinegar. He goes, give me some time. I'll find some apple cider vinegar. So we don't want to go to the hospital, so we figured, we're going to wait and figure this out. And he somehow manages to produce like a small bottle of this apple cider vinegar. And if you think white vinegar smells bad, apple cider vinegar smells probably twice as bad. So I end up just pouring this apple cider vinegar all over me once he got it to me. Of course, nothing happened. I ended up getting some Benadryl from our EMT friends, and they told me, take this Benadryl, try to fall asleep, and then get ready to go to the hospital. So I end up forcing myself to lay down. As awful that was, I ended up taking a bunch of Benadryl, probably over the recommended dosage, and I'm laying there smelling like apple cider vinegar with the vinegar and black tea and aloe and solar cane and everything else mixed in together. And I take this Benadryl, and I'm somehow able to fall asleep. And like by this time, it's probably 2 or 3, maybe in the afternoon or whatever. And I'm able to, maybe not that late. It was probably closer to maybe like 1, I guess. And I'm able to fall asleep for a couple hours. And I wake up. But luckily, I did not wake up due to the pain of the sunburn. I wake up feeling completely rested and having almost no pain whatsoever. Now, I couldn't believe it, right? Because I was in the worst pain of my entire life at that point just a few hours ago. I became a believer of apple cider vinegar right then and there. My family was getting ready to go out to eat. I think they were going to like Hard Rock Cafe or whatever. I still had a little bit of this apple cider vinegar on me. I poured that shit all down me again, and I was like, I can go out. So, no shower, no bath, no cleaning myself. Maybe some deodorant. I'm pretty sure I put a little bit of deodorant on. That's going to mask the smell of apple cider vinegar freshly applied to myself. But I'm able to like put my clothes on, and like I'm still a little tight. Like I'm still a little swollen up, but like the blistering's gone down, the swelling's gone down a bit. Like I'm still red, but like I can touch myself. That doesn't sound good out of context, but I'm able to like put my hand on my arms and my stomach, and like there's heat radiating off it, but it's not like that goddamn like lava fire feeling of pain that I was having earlier. So we end up going out to dinner. I'm in the elevator with like all like 9 of us or however many of us were with our families together, smelling awful. Everyone's like, what the hell is that? Other people in the elevator like, what the hell is that smell? And they're like looking around, and like, you ever hear like those like polite sniffs? Because like no one wants to like be the person sniffing in public. They don't go, who the hell is that? No, they do that like really like quiet, like, and then their eyes start darting around as like their nose tries to tune in to figure out who the hell smells like this. And that was going on the entire time. We end up going to, I think we might have went to the Hard Rock Cafe for dinner. And again, like I'm about as happy as can be because I'm just not in, mind-numbing pain. And we get there, we have a really good dinner, and you could tell like when like the hostess or like the waiters came by, they would walk by our table, and they'd be like, man, what is the smell? And near the end, I'm out of apple cider vinegar, all right, and like that kind of dawned on me near the end of dinner, and so that fear started to kind of like take hold. And so I remember asking the waiter, I go, listen, this is a weird request, but do you guys have any apple cider vinegar? And the guy goes, well, let me check. And he goes back, and he's like, oh, yeah, we have some apple cider vinegar. You want me to like, bring some for you? And I go, please. I put my hands together like I'm begging. I go, please give me some. So he goes back, and he comes out with like this little tiny like side sauce thing, like something they would put like ketchup in, or something like if you ask like a side of ketchup, I guess he figured like I was gonna like dip my fries in this apple cider vinegar, and I go, no, sir, like you don't understand. I need as much as you have. And he's like, what? And so I think like my dad took over, and like we ended up like talking to the manager. And we told him the story. We told him about what the apple cider vinegar does for us, and they end up giving us like a big glass bottle of this stuff, like you would buy like in bulk almost. And on the way back, we ended up we bought some kind of like some kind of like aerosol spray bottle, and so we would put it in there. That way I could spray it on me. I wouldn't just have to like dump it on me in the tub, so I could apply it not so much. So I'm spraying all over myself, smelling awful, but I don't know what it is about this stuff, but I swear by it now. I really, really do. I've like kind of looked into it, and it is like, it's like that like old country, old timey miracle cure all that like these old country mountain folk would use for damn near everything. And I'm kind of a skeptic naturally. I like to believe in trust but verify, but that was all the verification I needed. I now like swear by apple cider vinegar for curing damn near everything, including sunburns. And like I'll tell you how much I believe in apple cider vinegar. All right, this doesn't have to do with a sunburn, but a couple years back, my dad, he had just like real bad allergy problems, and he was using a neti pot. So a neti pot, you like fill it, I guess, with water, and like you like pour it down your nose. And I guess it like clears up your sinuses and stuff like that. And I'm watching him doing it. It's not doing anything. He's like, he just can't breathe, and he's just absolutely miserable. So I'm like, Dad, you got to use apple cider vinegar. And he's like, what? I go, man, remember my sunburn? How it just fixed that like that? Like, man, like this apple cider vinegar stuff is used for everything. I guarantee you put that in that neti pot, that's going to clear up your sinuses immediately. He's like, no, there's no way. And I go, let me check on the internet, all right? And well, if you know anything about interneting, you know that you can find anybody to agree with goddamn anything. So of course, with enough searching, I'm able to find like on some obscure forum post in like the dark corners of the web, someone saying, yeah, apple cider vinegar cleared up their sinuses. So that was all the proof I needed. So I craft a convincing argument for my dad. I show him my scholarly scoured sources, and I go, you got to use the apple cider vinegar in the neti pot. So he fills that sucker up with apple cider vinegar, slowly turns his head, because I'm sure in the back of his mind he had that voice of, this is a terrible idea, why am I doing it? And he pours that sucker into his nose and just starts screaming, just yelling out of pain. Because I mean, vinegar is an acid. He just straight poured acid up his nose into his sinuses, and it didn't do anything. It did nothing to help. So, apple cider vinegar is good for sunburns, not good for clearing sinuses. But I figured it was a good experiment, and now I know better. If I ever have bad sinuses, I won't resort to that. But yeah, he starts like coughing and like choking on this vinegar that's gone up his nose, and it's just burning him, and tears are welling up in his eyes. And I'm laughing now, but like part of me does feel bad, because part of me was like, there's no way this is a good idea. But to be fair, a part of me was like, well, shit, it's a miracle for sunburns. It might be a miracle for whatever. It was not, man. He's just like, snot just like running down his face, and just, it was one of the most miserable times he's ever looked. But it was hilarious. I can't deny it. It was hilarious watching him go through that, and doing it all for science. And now we all know. So that apple cider vinegar, you guys, it saved that Vegas trip for me. The rest of the time, like, I wasn't able to go to really any of the seminars, because by the time like the seminars were done was like finally the time when I was like healing up from this stuff. But like I was telling people, we heard this this amazing story from Marcus Luttrell, this Navy SEAL who got shot a bunch of times, blown off a mountain, was crawling through the desert, and I was like, you know what? Listen, I can relate to Marcus Luttrell. I know what it feels like. But you know what? I think I had it worse, because at least he didn't have a sunburn while he was crawling across the desert, shot a bunch of times. So he's lucky. Like I felt like I was on par with a veteran with how much pain I felt from this. And then, like near near the end of the trip, I got tan. I was looking good. I was looking real good. I had that, that darkness to me and stuff like that. I liked it. I was like, yeah, man, this is good. It lasted like all of a day, maybe 2, and then I was peeling sheets. I would get in the shower, and I mean like sheets of me would just come off, and like they would like fill with water until they couldn't fill anymore, and they would just come flying off in the shower. I know it probably sounds terrible, but that's what it was. And I just ended up peeling that entire tan off of me with brand new baby white skin underneath it. So I don't know if that 6-hour tan for like 24 hours of pain and misery was worth the maybe 18 hours of looking good with a tan. I probably wouldn't make that trade again. So I've at least learned, that lesson. But I will say this. I have never been sunburnt since. And I still don't put sunscreen on. I don't know what it is. I don't know. And like I go outside. It's not like I avoid the sun or anything like this. Listen, I might have developed a superpower. I can now freely absorb the sun's UV radiation. Like that might be my superpower. Because I'm telling you, I've never been sunburnt after that. I like to think I'm immune to it. I'm not willing to risk another 6 hours in the desert, though. That's probably not going to happen. But yeah, like that was like the sunburn to end all sunburns. So that is the Sunburn from Hell story, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned from it. Learn from my mistakes. Put some sunscreen on. It is hot as hell right now. It's like 90 degrees here in Cincinnati. So, enjoy all of that. I appreciate you guys for listening. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Put it out there on Facebook. Tell people, why you like listening to it. All that good stuff. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Perfect.